All right, so it looks like we got some podcast cringe content here that isn't discussing Brendan Schaub. It is titled When Rich Comedians Lose Touch with Reality. And who do you think they're talking about? That's right, Tom Segura.
And then there's that thing where, like, no one should be a billionaire. Well, okay, hang on. Do you like having an iPhone?
Yeah.
Somebody had to make that. They're working 16 hours a day. You don't want to be Tim Cook. You don't.
Yeah, but the billionaire guy isn't making it, Joe Rogan. His little fingers aren't in there building iPhones for each person. That guy at the top has not done that in fucking years. I don't think the guy at the top ever did that. I don't think Steve Jobs was sitting at a desk putting the shit together himself by hand. I think we know better.
You don't want to be Steve Jobs. Guy
Yeah.
died young because of it. What was it like
Right,
doing that
sure.
Riad Festival?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
It was fantastic. The only restriction that we had was about Islam and the royals. That was it. Which wasn't really a hard thing for most people to adhere to. I don't mind if people are like, you can be mad about whatever you want. I don't care. Some of these comics who are saying this, like, oh, you don't have free speech and you adhered to these restrictions. It's like, have you ever done a private? Have you ever done a university? I have.
Yeah.
They had restrictions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to look at it, and if it really upsets you,
So wait, Tom is comparing the Riad Festival to performing at a college? I don't think they get it, guys.
my position is good.
Well, the other thing.
Let it upset you.
Yeah, let it upset you.
We're fast approaching the end of the year, and if there's one thing we've learnt in 2025, it's that the Joe Rogan Experience has become a full-on parody of itself. If you told me at the beginning of the year that we'd have a self-professed comedian running defense for the government and a handful of billionaires, sadly, I'd probably have believed you. And that's exactly what we got. Nothing is more telling than the amount of mental gymnastics on display from Joe and his guests. The only thing worse is just how predictable it is. I was saying to someone the other day, for a podcast that has a backlog of over 1,000 guests waiting to come on the show, according to Rogan that is, he
Right.
really does tend to cycle the same guests over and over again. Because
That's true.
absolutely nobody woke up this morning and said, fuck, I hope Tom Segura's on JRE today. This comment summed it up perfectly, the modern day equivalent of the holiday rerun. But of course, the JRE is no longer a
Well, you can't forget, Podcast Cringe. Tom Segura's got something to promote. And he is required to be allowed to come on Joe Rogan to promote that thing that nobody's going to watch or talk about because nobody cares anymore. Hey, man, if you get a special on Netflix and you've already been on Netflix a dozen times, we don't care. We also don't really care if you put a special on another platform. All right? At this point, I'm feeling like I'd rather watch a special right here on YouTube. We can see the numbers. We can see what people say about it in the comments. What are you so afraid of? You really need that Netflix money? After you've already got that Netflix money? I suppose they all have to fulfill a contract, but come on, man. Is anybody really watching this shit anymore? Truly?
place for interesting conversations. It's purely a promotional platform for Joe and his buddies
what I
to
just
cash
said.
in on his audience.
Yep.
Tom's latest comedy special drops today, except he's not too happy about the timing.
For me, by the way, because so my special,
Well, let's remember, I saw the same thing too. I saw all kinds of shit that was popped up. I think Dave Chappelle's special dropped the same time. And now, of course, Tom's going to say, well, that's why I didn't get any views. Just like Andrew Santino that said that that's why he didn't get any views on his Hulu special. Oh, it's because it dropped at this. No, it's because nobody gives a fuck, bro. Nobody wants to see your stand-up.
comes out Christmas Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 days later, Ricky Gervais comes out. And then like 3 days prior, I get a call before it's announced. And they're like, hey, we got to tell you, we're dropping a special, unannounced Chappelle special tonight. And I go, great. I go, you realize this is like...
But here's the thing, Tom. That's just another unwatchable special. You and Dave Chappelle just dropped specials that nobody gives a fuck about. I haven't seen one person talking about either of you. Okay? It's not good enough anymore. Dave Chappelle is just going on there pontificating, okay, like he's a philosopher. There's no punchlines. And if there are any, it takes 11, 12, 15 minutes to get to one. Okay? And I'm just not into that shit anymore. Nobody is, truly. That's why every comedian is saying, hey, people don't want to watch an hour-long special. They don't have the attention span. But then somebody puts an hour-long special out and then has jokes at the end of a 30-minute long story. You know what I mean? We're out, dude. It's unfucking watchable. AKA unstoppable, right? It should have been called the unwatchable, not the unstoppable.
Being a musical artist, and I've been working on my album, and you guys are like, we're so excited, and then you call me, you're like, just so you know, tomorrow we're releasing Radiohead's new album, and you're like, thanks. Like, I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's like the biggest guy is coming out with it, you know. But
well, yeah, for sure, Dave Chappelle's special was like #1 on Netflix, but again, didn't watch it, don't care to. I watched his comeback, right? And I think everybody's lying to us. I think everybody remembers this Chappelle Show version of Dave Chappelle. That isn't what he does in his stand-up, and it doesn't work. It's not funny, dude. It's not funny. It's fucking boring. It truly is. I don't know if he switched it up for this new one, but I highly doubt it. Because like he said, he was fulfilling a contract with Netflix. He did that. He got the money. He disappeared for a little bit again. Here he comes back with a special nobody was expecting, not even Netflix. They still bought it, still put it out, still got #1. Fine. But again, that is a bunch of people just sucking up to somebody who was supposedly good 20 years ago.
But it's hilarious. He's great.
Yeah, that sucks for Tom. If only he hadn't spent the last few years convincing his own fans how much he hates them all, maybe that would have helped. At least Dave Chappelle's new special was average, which is all we can expect given the direction of stand-up comedy recently. But we'll get to Tom's Riad Comedy Festival Cope session in a moment.
I'll tell you this. I do like that Podcast Cringe will say that it was average. Because I'm not watching it, and if he's only considering it to be average, and he hates Brendan Schaub, well, he at least knows what bad comedy is, right? Either way, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.